Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Whenever I want to be nice, uh, that doesn't really happen too often, I guess. I want to tell someone that he or she, I don't know, are doing wrong, or I think they're doing wrong. I give them hints, and the hints I make them in the form of a joke or in a how do you call it, in a form of irony. So as a joke or in a form of, oh man, you did fantastic, you did extraordinary, man. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, to show that something is wrong. Even if they know they kind of screw up, you make it sound fantastically, and they know something is wrong. Is a big discrepancy, or I'm trying to convey the issue, the problem, via a joke to a serious joke that maybe sounds serious, but he made it a joke. I try to make the person think about it in order to maybe change course, or to show my disagreement. Let's put it this way. The same thing I'm doing right now with Vladimir Putin, I think. I know it's a little bit arrogant to think that I would give Vladimir Putin any advice, but I, as a free human being, supposedly, I have the right to tell him or anybody else, or express my opinion regarding how he conducts the war in Ukraine against NATO, and how he protects, that's the key word, protects or defends the Russian people. Why? He's doing a fantastic job again in protecting Moscow, basically, because the Ukrainians, or England through the Ukrainians, were capable of striking Moscow again with dozens of drones. And I don't know, like 350 flights were cancelled in Moscow. That's the topic of today, the Russians not being able to defend themselves. And the damage will increase. The damage will increase. I will play a video for you with the aftermath of a Ukrainian missile striking pinpoint a factory in Russia, in Voronezh Oblast. I will show you what Voronezh Oblast is. It's not next to the border with Russia. It is further in. This is target practicing. They can strike Moscow if they want the Kremlin. Then what? Then what, Mr. Putin? So I will play this video. Then I will talk about the attack on Moscow by the Ukrainians again. 367 flights were cancelled or delayed. Mr. Zelensky doubles down on the ultimatum to Russian ally. And the last topic, Zelensky said that he will remove the relays, the Russian or Belarusian communication systems at the border with Ukraine. He will do it himself. He's just gonna get his camel and just go and fix things over there. So my question with the last topic is, this could trigger a wider war. Are the guys in West, his sponsors, the guys in charge, are not saying anything about it? I mean, they're doing worse than the Belarusians are doing. Is this a moment of desperation? We're going to find out, and I'm going to talk about it. So let's start with the first one, with the pinpointed missile attack in Voronezh. Here it is. The article comes from Ukrainska Pravda. It is from the 22nd of June, 2026. Remember, the 22nd of June was the invasion of Soviet Union by Germany, the Barbarossa operation. Ukraine's Air Force strikes electronics plant in Voronezh with precision missiles. Plural. Photo and video. I will show you. So, where is the Russian city of Voronezh? Where is that, man? I will show exactly where that is. So let's go to the map right here, whenever the Russians decide to open it for me. And Voronezh is right here. You see where Voronezh is? So, comparison, you can say, well, it's a long way to Moscow, which is right here, right? Long way. But the point is precision strike. So the Ukrainians, the English, struck Voronezh with a precision missile right in the factory. Put a Kremlin in. It's not a big really deal to strike Voronezh versus Moscow. You say, well, Emily, it is. They have 100 air defense systems over there. Moscow is far away. They have a lot of defense belts here that they can intercept the incoming missile. Okay, you're right about that, but you will see, and I will be right, unfortunately. All right. So they say that according to General Staff, this facility manufactured electronics used in Russian missiles, including for the Iskander operational tactical missile systems and the KH, this Calibre 101, isn't it? The most likely refers to the Voronezh semiconductors devices plant. All right, this is a picture, and you see that? That's straight in it. That's in it. There's no doubt about it. This is the picture. I'm going to show you the video. Video doesn't show, but the destruction, the aftermath. Ready, set. Right there. So you tell me, I don't know, it looks like an apartment building to me, but probably the factory is so big that right there. It's an industrial plant over there. Look at that big hole over there. Hey, Mr. Putin, and this comes that you're doing a fantastic job. The Russians will be happy for it, and it will demand what exactly? Something that I ask for. It goes from one side to another. I'm going to play it again for you. Requires, you can see through the building. Wait, when the bus moves on a little bit, then you're going to see the through. Like in the Terminator, when then Arnold gets shot in the head and you can see through his face. Anyway, here it is, my friends. This is how well Vladimir Putin is protecting the Russians. This is a missile, not a drone, a missile. And there were two of them, one on top and one in the middle. So, bring it on. How long before you use those weapons that will stop the war, Mr. Putin? Use like a French, Mr. Putin. All right, so that's the first one. The second one, the Ukrainians attack Moscow almost daily nowadays. Ukrinform. Dozens of drones attack Moscow. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin stated on Monday that 70 drones heading toward the Russian capital had allegedly been shot down. This is what he says. 70 flying drones towards Moscow had allegedly been shot down. All right. Kiev launches drone barrage at Moscow on Nazi invasion anniversary. More than 80 UAVs were intercepted on approach to the Russian capital, the mayor said. The other guy said 70. A total of 84 Ukrainian drones were intercepted in 24 hours while flying towards Moscow. Local officials say the broader Ukrainian overnight were included over 300 aircraft targeting Russia. You know how many the Russians struck last night? 80. So the Russians attacked with 80 drones. These guys attacked with 300 aircraft targeting Russia. The barrage comes as the nation marks the anniversary of Baba Boo 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 Boo. Russian Defense Ministry said air defenses destroyed and intercepted 301 Ukrainian long-range drones over an 11-hour period. Okay, so the Russians are striking with 88, I think it was, the article I saw. The Ukrainians claim that they destroyed like 77. And the Russians received 301 drones that this guy said they intercepted. How about the 5,000 they didn't? They didn't tell you about that one, did they? My point is this. I noticed that daily the number of the Russian drones launched towards whatever targets they claim they target them is smaller, increasingly smaller than the Ukrainian clip number of drones. Now, obviously, some people can say, well, it's just right now, they're dying, they can't make it. Well, it's an observation. So far, the Ukrainian drones attack increase. The Russian drones are like, the same one. And that's going to increase. I don't know if it's going to plateau, but nevertheless, as of now, they are striking Moscow, and they're striking the Russians more than the Russians strike the Ukrainians. And it was a guy, I can't remember who said that in an article, that hey, you should be focused not on the drone attack. You should be focused on how the front moves, the whole war. Well, how about I should focus on this? You can end the war now. Why don't you do it? All right? If you really want the greedy needy, don't tell me that, hey, we're winning. Yeah, you've been winning for 4 years and a half. And these guys now increase their drones and missile attacks on you. Kerch Bridge will be blown up, I guarantee you that. And Moscow will be struck with missiles, I guarantee you that. Maybe the Kremlin, we're going to find out. And then Mr. Putin is going to do what exactly? Oh, that's an escalation? All right, he sits on his hands. Next one. Let me show you more about this one. Moscow hit by new drone wave as airports cancel or delay 367 flights. This is Russia, all right? Imagine that these things will be, the airports in, let's say, in Washington, D.C. would be canceled or delayed, about 367 flights. How about that? Because they were struck by, I don't know, Haiti, in a war with Haiti. Next, Zelensky doubles down on ultimatum to Russian ally. So yesterday Zelensky said that he's going to, Mr. Lukashenko, take your infrastructure, military infrastructures, helping the Russians coordinate drone attacks on Ukraine, take them off from your territory, otherwise I will take them from you or for you. That means he's going to attack Belarus, and Belarus is going to attack Ukraine. And NATO is okay with that. But in self-defense, this Jew is using the same tactic as they use in the Middle East. In self-defense, you can attack whomever you want and get whomever property you want and bulldoze whatever and expand your territory. So I guess it worked. Why not? The Ukrainian leader, again, Russia today is an imbecile. The Ukrainian leader, why Ukrainian? Is he Ukrainian? You can claim so, but if you are RT, they try to equate this with being a Ukrainian. I thought that the Russians are trying to be nice to the Ukrainian. So if I would be a Russian, I would try to say, I understand that Russia is a multicultural society as well. Not only Russians, but there's a lot of ethnic groups living over there. So they try to appease them, which they want to be a little ethnic war starting over there, triggered by the West, who love diversity, remember. But in this case, you fight Ukraine, and Ukraine is the jackal state or the vassal state of the West at this point. And you have to determine that after all, you're not attacking the Ukrainians because in charge of the Ukrainians is this guy who is from the Middle East. Originally, in the past, along like 3,000 years ago, when they had the biggest empire the world has ever seen, the Israelites, okay? Okay. So whatever. So they, instead of saying with these guys, man, again, make a joke and ridicule the guy or use irony. Man, Ukrainians, big heads, round heads. You can't even be in charge of your own destiny. You need a Jew to be fighting for you and coordinate your freedom against the Ruskies. Really? Da. Tempula mea. It rhymes. So let's see what this guy says again. The Ukrainian military will bomb Belarusian communication towers along the 1,000-kilometer border unless, that's an ultimatum right there, Alexander Lukashenko, president, takes them offline and, quote-unquote, proves that he is not aiding Russia. All right, Belarus, a close ally, or Russia, has allegedly stayed out of the Ukraine, largely stayed out of it. However, in the past few weeks, Zelensky has ramped up his rhetoric about the alleged threat posed by Belarus and has threatened it with preemptive strikes like Israel. And I'm quoting, at the intelligence and military levels, Belarus received a message, stop helping the Russians. The issue with the relay stations have been ongoing for a long time. All right, he says that it's not threatening anyone, but Zelensky said his words have meant nothing since the first day of the war. If he does not remove them, we will remove everything ourselves. Similarly, we're sending a message, please stop supplying fuel to the Russian army. Oh, you see, little by little, he increases the demands. Before I'm commenting on this, let me read the last article, which is coming from New Voice of Ukraine about the same issue. Zelensky says Ukraine may remove relays aiding Russian drone attacks right there. The Ukrainian. Clip, 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 clip. All right. So again, Ukraine's public demands Zapa Zapa. So let me tell you this. So Russia is in a war with Ukraine, we're told, right? And Belarus is helping Russia with the relay stations to coordinate. And this guy says, we will bomb those stations that help the Russians. And you help the Russians with whatever resources, oil or whatever. Okay? So you help Russia. We will bombard you. You are an independent, sovereign country, but you are helping my enemy. Zelensky acts normal. This is the normal act, the normal way of acting in a conflict. You help my enemy, you are my enemy, and I will attack you. That's Zelensky has a natural and normal reaction of reality. How should I put it? In the world, that's how you react. Putin doesn't have the normal reaction. So I don't have a problem with Zelensky whatsoever. He is right about what he says. How idiotic that might sound, but if you help my enemy to kill me and my family, I will screw you. I will attack you as well. I will hit you. That's the normal reaction. Now, let's go to the other side. Let's reverse the shit. Russia and Ukraine. Since the beginning of the war, Ukraine has been helped with military assets, with intelligence, with satellites, with even coordinations, with operations, with naval drones, with missiles, with tanks, with airplanes, with air defense systems, with HIMARS, with whatever, with everything coming from Poland, coming from Romania, coming from Germany, coming from Great Britain, all over the world, even from the imbeciles in South Korea. So shouldn't the Russians apply the same normal, realistic method or act of bombarding those guys? As Zelensky threatens Belarus, Russia should have threatened these guys in the same way, but they didn't. So Zelensky is doing right. Putin is the motherfucker, just so you know. Now, if you say, well, he couldn't have done that. You got nuclear weapons. Nobody will do shit to you. But hey, that's the way it is, my friends. So yes, Zelensky will do that. Have you heard anybody in the West? Anybody? One. I'm not talking about people like me in the West. No, but the important people, politicians or big media outlets in the West, pointing out that Zelensky, whoa, stop. Because if you do that, Russia could do that as well. Have you heard anybody? Or anybody trying to stop Zelensky from doing that? I think he was told what to do by those guys. They want it bigger. They want a war they think is going to be conventional war with Russia. And so far, the imbecile in the Kremlin, I have to call him that way, is doing that. Having a conventional war with NATO that he will lose. He will lose. The guys will outspend him. I think. In the meantime, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of, if not millions, of young Russian men will die. When you can stop it just like this. All right, that's it. Will he strike them? Yeah, I think he will strike. I think Zelensky will strike those who will claim preemptive strikes like Trump, self-defense like Israel, and he's covered. Because that's the new rule right now. If you're allowed to use that, it's like a Trump card. Only some people get to use that Trump card. And usually they are, someone says, I can't remember what term he used, because I used Zelensky Stein, and he used, I can't remember the term, Jesus Christ. I said I will use it this, I will remember it. Anyway, thank you very much in the next one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. War will expand. War will expand. At one point, Putin either loses everything, which I don't think that's going to happen, or he gets out, or uses nuclear weapons. Which one is going to be? But he's going to be out, and the other guys are going to use nuclear weapons, or he's going to be out, and the other guys are going to sell out the country. We'll find out pretty soon. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.